Hi, Angela Wolf here. We are continuing on with our jacket, and today we are sewing princess seams. With this jacket, there's one in the front. With this trench coat, it's the front and the back. Either way, it's going to be the same process. So the princess seams allows for a little bit better fit, and you can see this is the side front, and this is the front piece. So this curve has to fit into this area. So it's real important to give yourself notches on your fabric like I have here. And then here's the back piece. So I'm just going to show you quickly how to sew this and press this. So the first thing I'm going to do, this is the center back, this is the back princess. I will be lining up these notches as I sew. All right, so let's get to the sewing machine. Now, depending on your pattern, it depends how it was graded. You might have a piece that sticks out. Ignore that, because once it's pressed open, what you need to focus on is your seam allowance here. So this is, again, for my pattern, is a 1/2 inch seam allowance. I have the stitch length at 3.0, do a little back stitch, and this is how I sew the princess seam. I have the flat piece on the straighter piece on the top and the curvy piece at the bottom. And I'm just going to stitch, allowing that fabric to feed, and I'm using both hands to move the fabric around. All right, I'm just going to go down a little bit further here. Okay. I'm just going to go a little bit further because the most important part after this is just the pressing. So this is the straighter piece. This is the curvier piece. There, you want to make sure there's no puckers when you do this. The front piece is a little more challenging, and let's go to the pressing here. I'm using a tailor's ham, and it has a curve. It's a little bit better than pressing on a flat surface. And first, I'm just going to press this towards the inside of the garment. Now, depending if you're going to press it one way, the seams always press towards the center of the garment. So the back piece will press towards the center back, the front will press towards the center front. But what happens here? If this is too much of a curve, you're going to have too much fabric in here. So, not pinking shears. What I'm going to do is just trim just a little bit. I just do little snips along the edge of that curve. Just little snips. Not too close to the seam because you don't want it to open. And then give it a little press and see what it looks like. And now from the right side. And that's how you'll press the curve for any of your princess seams, which will allow it to lay flat. If you're using a smaller seam allowance, like a 1/2 inch, you don't have to do too much snipping, but just compare. And in the front, for a little bit fuller bust, you'll have to do a little bit more snipping. So next, we're going to be sewing together our patch pocket. Enjoy sewing your jacket.